Hey, what's happening, everyone? Thank you very much for joining us again. We are on episode number 28 of Always the Journey TV. I'm your host, Jason Woodland. Thank you so much for dedicating your valuable time to watching these fun interviews. The whole idea here is to spotlight people out there in the community who are passionate about what they do. We want to learn about their businesses, their jobs, their artwork, their side hustles, their event spaces, and everything in between. Today's small business shout out is Fratelli Restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant located in Sandy. It's 8612 South, 1300 East. They're sitting right on the intersection there. They've got a brand new building. And I'm looking at my phone right now because I want to share with you this dessert that I had recently that was absolutely unbelievable. So it was actually called The Cake. And literally, it doesn't even need any other title besides that. It is a pistachio cake layered with lemon mousse and fresh raspberries, topped with a thin layer of buttercream, marzipan, and a lemon glaze. By the way, they did not pay for me to shout them out. It's just a legit place, great people, great service. So go and check them out. So my next guest is the amazingly talented Anthony Davis. We've known each other for years. I'm so excited to share with you what he does for his business and his artistry. Anthony is the owner of Celestial Landscapes and has been a landscape design and build artist since 1997. This guy straight up knows his business through and through. He is the proud father of 3 sons and 1 grandson and has been married to an amazing woman, Nicole, who's also an awesome friend. And he said she believes in him and adds a high degree of value to his life and the lives of their kids. And I would argue that both of them add a high degree of value to everybody they come in contact with. Anthony loves working outdoors and has been actively working in the green industry since the age of 15 years old. He also loves living out the dream of being an entrepreneur and a small business owner, and has had the desire, goal, and intention of owning his own business since he was a young lad. Anthony loves nature and enjoys creating wildlife-friendly landscapes and water gardens which attract wild birds, butterflies, and honeybees. Anthony is the vocalist, lyricist for Salt Lake hardcore band 7 Daggers. He is also the bass player for a high-energy rock and roll band, Blood Moon Majesty. I've been watching him play in bands for over 25 years, and also wanted to share a little bit more of his music history. He has a very deep history in playing in a handful of really great bands throughout the years. The first one was Waterfront, which was from 1991 to 1995, and also just wanted to share with you a fun little tidbit. So this was a record that he did back in the early 90s. And I also want to share with you something also sort of fun. So let me see if I can get the camera right. So right there, that's him as a young lad. So anyway, I thought I'd share that fun piece of history. He played in Daisy Gray from 1993 to 1995. So Waterfront, he was vocalist. Daisy Gray, he played bass. And then a band called Jatura. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Anyway, he played in that. In 1998, he played bass. And then, of course, 7 Daggers from 2014 to present, he sings. And then Blood Moon Majesty from 2018 to present, he plays bass. He is passionate about creating music and believes that music has therapeutic, antidepressant, serotonin-enhancing, dopamine-spiking value. I love that terminology. I completely agree, especially when we get back to live shows and the high fives and stage dives are in effect. Totally excited about that. He enjoys nightlife and city life, going to shows, concerts, and supporting other local artists and musicians in the Salt Lake music scene, of which both he and his wife, Nicole, are huge supporters, and they're always out there supporting people in the community. I love seeing that. And he also, of course, loves spending time in the great outdoors. He enjoys listening to podcasts and continually makes an effort to improve himself by learning and implementing new concepts and ideas. Anthony loves to hear, and he says, or attempt to tell a good story. I wouldn't say attempt at all. I think he is actually the master at telling a good story, not only in the relationships that he creates, the music he writes, but also this unbelievable artistry he tells stories in people's yards on a day-to-day basis. Friends, I'm so extremely excited to introduce my dear friend Anthony Davis to Always the Journey TV. What is up, my man?
Hey, how are you doing, Jason?
I'm doing unbelievable. It's a beautiful, sunshiny day.
Oh, yes, it is. Very nice day. Should be there landscaping, huh?
That's right, man. So I'm excited to have you on the show because you've got an amazing business, and I'm really excited to get into the deep dive of what it is that you do for your business. I mean, because we've had you over here at our place, you've done work here, did amazing work, and we're also going to share some actual examples of some of the work you've done. But first of all, Anthony, I want to know what inspired you to get involved in this kind of business all to begin with.
Well, I've always enjoyed the outdoors. I at one point in time thought that I might go into forestry, and I learned that takes a lot of work, college to go to, and I wanted to kind of hit the ground running and just get to work. So, and I love trees, and I love working, with anything natural. So, I started into landscaping when I was young, and eventually it just kind of grew into wanting to go ahead and do that for myself, and that's how that went for me.
Nice. Okay, cool. So you got involved in just doing like the work. When did did you start doing this sort of like detail landscaping right out of the gates, or was it just more traditional style landscaping in the beginning?
Oh, in the beginning, I worked for Salt Lake County Parks and Recreation. And at that time, I was working up at the Salt Lake City Cemetery up in the Avenues. So I worked up there for 3 years and absolutely loved it up there. I was mostly in charge of watering and, caretaking and things like that. And then I from there, I went to Granite School District, their grounds department. And I was doing a lot of landscape maintenance, but also landscaping, putting in sod and, things like that too. And then I worked for a couple of private companies, and then I finally decided, okay, it's time for me to go ahead and do this. I want to do my business. Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah. So Anthony, tell us more specifically about your business. So what is it that your business does and focuses on?
Yeah, we do design build, and we like to create outdoor spaces, primarily really nice backyard for people to hang out in, and sitting areas, and privacy and shade, and environment and habitat for wildlife and things like that. Curb appeal, stuff like that. Different things that'll increase property values, and just bring a lot of joy and enhancement to people's everyday lives. Gives them some way to enjoy the outdoors.
I love that. So I'm going to share. I'm going to do a screen share here and show some of your work, because I think that there's going to be a handful of people that have never seen your actual work, and this is inspiring to say the least. So let me push a couple of buttons here and see if I can make this happen. All right. Like a glove. Check this out. Okay, so to get more detail here, you do everything within the landscape. I mean, you can do water features, rock work. I mean, let's actually take a look at some of these.
Sure.
So, I mean, you guys build this.
Yeah.
This is your website.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, so let me ask you this. Is there such thing as a job that is either too small or too large?
Too small. Yeah, that's a possibility. Because we do like to specialize in full projects, whether it's a remodel or a new install for a new home, or like a remodel. But say like a full front yard or a full backyard or a full yard altogether would be kind of more our forte of what we like to do. So we don't really do much on the repair side of things or maintenance side of things. We like to take a project and from concept to completion and build something out and make something special for people.
Nice. So when you design, let me ask you this. If someone has their own idea, they can hire you and you can execute that idea, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And let's say someone says, I don't even know what to do. I just want something cool. And here's my space. Can
Yeah.
they also sit down with you and then you would just build out the architecture, so to speak, and just do the whole 9 yards?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that I do a little bit of both. What I a lot of the time will do is I'll have a consultation with the client, and we'll walk through the yard, and I'll have them tell me all their different ideas and different elements that they want included in the design, and then I'll find a way to make that look the very best. How that all comes together and how it fits together and makes the most sense and the best use of space and things like that too. And then I bring that as a concept drawing, and then an itemized proposal based upon the concept drawing.
That is amazing. And so the pictures that we're seeing here, I mean, everything to do with brickwork, rock work, the plants, the trees. I mean, you guys handle everything from start to finish. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do.
And then also, is the choice of plants and trees something that you consult on?
Yes, absolutely. I'm an arborist and a Utah certified nursery professional, and got some other certifications and things like that. So I'm kind of a tree freak, and I like all my plants, and I like to specify different plants and trees for whatever their space is. So say they have a smaller yard, then I'll probably be specifying trees that don't get too big for that space, using dwarf and semi-dwarf varieties and things like that. So that works out pretty nice, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think it's easy for people to just go to the store. They like the tree, but they don't really think about how is that tree going to look 10 years from now in their space, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's really important to think ahead on that. You know, it really is. You got to plan ahead. You got to plan in advance.
Big time. So you guys do Christmas light installation also?
Yeah, we do. We do that in the off season.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, yeah, I'd say. Have you guys ever done a Clark Griswold style house?
Yeah, we have. We've done a few of those.
Really?
And, yeah, and I usually don't take very many photos of the Clark Griswold type, because a lot of the time it doesn't look very good. It's just like tons and tons of lights on lights on lights. You know, it's just. But you know, it's whatever people want. You know, as far as their lighting is concerned, if they're wanting to go all out, do something interesting, that's okay. We'll do it.
Definitely. So let me ask you this. Okay, I know that obviously you can do new construction. I mean, it's sort of like a blank slate. You can walk up, the place is dirt. I bet that's a ton of fun because you just build and create and and do something.
Yeah.
If someone has got an existing landscape, you can come in and recreate everything they've got. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We can come in and do the demolition, haul off all the old stuff, and then create a whole new space for them. And that we do that a lot, actually. And that's pretty common with my work.
Nice.
So yeah, it's, you know, all the different equipment, whatever's required, and then I just bring my team out and we build the whole thing from start to finish, brand new. So
these pictures are just mind blowing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I love your business. I mean, you know that. So something like this, let's say, where it's got quite a bit of work into it.
Yeah.
What does something like this on the screen typically take in terms of time to install?
That section right there, it has a little water feature off to the side of the stairs, and then it has the rock walls, and so that was pretty equipment intensive job. So I had some equipment that took that project, and it was actually a pretty large project because it was the whole backyard pretty much. So it ended up taking us a couple of weeks, about I'd say that portion of it probably 2 to 3 weeks from start to finish.
Okay. And when you say 2 to 3 weeks, does that mean like 8 hours a day, 2 to 3 weeks, Monday through Friday kind of time?
Usually Monday through Saturday. I work a lot of Saturdays during the season because being seasonal, you know, we've got to try to fit in as much work as we possibly can.
Yep.
So it's usually Monday through Saturday, and then usually 10-hour days.
Okay.
Yeah. We
Awesome.
put in about 50 to 60 hours a week on a project, just as we're building out a project. So we're at people's homes for a while. They, to build something, that takes a lot of labor, a lot of materials and things like that. Takes some time.
Yeah, I can imagine. And and do you guys give free bids? So if someone says,
Yeah,
"Hey, I've got this idea," you can break that out into a full-blown free bid concept so they can plan
yeah,
around that. Is that right?
that's right. That's right. And sometimes projects are built out in phases. So you'll have like a phase 1, 2, 3, 4 sometimes. I have projects that we've been working on phases for a couple of years. So it'll take a couple of years to actually, for the project to be completed, because we'll do one phase per year and we'll build it out over a period of a couple of 3 years, whatever.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then as far as sort of like not cement work per se, but let's say someone has a pre-existing cement patio, but they want to have that redone with either, I mean, do you guys do stamping also, or can you do tear outs? Do you just do, I mean, tell me what that looks like for someone.
Yes, yeah. For like a concrete patio, we would tear out the old patio, and then we do all the prep and get everything ready. And then I have a concrete guy that comes in and does the concrete work.
Okay.
Concrete is really its own specialty. It really
Yeah.
is. And so that's about the only thing that we don't do in house is concrete work, pretty much.
But you can handle that.
But yeah, we do it
I mean, you can subcontract. You've got all of the infrastructure for that.
all the time. Yeah,
Okay.
concrete is very, very common because a lot of people will want like an addition onto their driveway or an RV parking area or a back patio, and they just want to do it in concrete, and we can definitely help make that happen.
Nice. And then you guys do gazebos, right?
Yeah,
And
we do.
pergolas.
Yep.
What is the difference between a pergola and a gazebo? I think I've got it mixed up.
Yeah, no problem. A pergola is more of an open shade structure, so it's like timbers or beams, and then it's open, so it's more for shade and to define the space. And where a gazebo actually has a roof on it of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've been doing these other gazebos that we call them cabanas. So it's like an outdoor cabana type setup. So you can basically create an outdoor living room. After you get the structure set up and everything like that, everything stays dry under there. It's nice, you can set up outdoor furniture, fire pits, just whatever you want. So those are becoming more popular than the pergolas now because people like the idea of having a roof, just in case, you get a little rain or you get a little bit of snow there, everything's protected under there. And like the cushions on their outdoor furniture isn't getting wet. And so that's becoming more popular now.
Yeah, and you're also starting to see people building out a little bit more sort of a nicer kitchenette area and maybe even a flat screen TV. So something like that would make much better sense for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because then you've got it covered and you don't have to worry about things so much.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to revisit the question I asked earlier about something too small and something too big.
Yeah.
So you're saying that there's not really something that is too big. Can you handle both residential and commercial? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, we do a little bit of commercial, light commercial. So that means kind of like commercial projects that are, say, similar to the size of like a large residential project. So if it's kind of in that same size, that's what we can do from a commercial standpoint. So.
Okay. And do you guys ever do work for HOAs?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually have a consultation later today for an HOA up in, I think it's in Cottonwood Heights area.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Perfect. This is great because I'm getting a wide range understanding and also my viewers, because the objective here is for my viewers to say, yes, that's something that I need and that fits, the kind of job that I'm looking for. So, and you guys do the vegetable garden boxes.
Yeah, we do. That's becoming more and more popular now.
It is.
Yeah. People like to grow their own vegetables. It's That's really taking off. That's one of the new things that's really happening now. That, and actually, we just did a micro orchard for fruit trees for a client, and then we did I think 14 different varieties of fruit trees and a few almond trees. So we did that, and that's starting to happen too. So kind of depends on how much space you have too. But there are trees that you can get that are dwarf fruit trees. So there's like a bonanza peach tree, for example, is like it only gets like 5 feet tall by 5 feet wide. So if you have a small space, and you could even grow that in a large container and still have, some fruit. So yeah, it's
and it
really
actually,
cool.
and those dwarf trees actually do produce a decent amount of fruit.
They do. It's not too bad. I mean, you might get like off of a tree like that, you might get like maybe like a 5-gallon bucket worth of peaches or something. It's not like it's more the novelty of it, and the fact that, yeah, I grew this myself and it tastes great.
Yeah.
It's not like I guess a tree that small you wouldn't be sharing with neighbors as much, but you just probably keep it to yourself. But
Why don't you just pull one off and throw it over the fence?
Let them have the ones that the birds got. Just kidding. But yeah, there's so many different things you can do. And the garden boxes would put like a drip system on them and everything, so it's all automated. So if you go out of town or something, you come back and everything's still doing really well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. So how far in advance do you recommend someone getting a hold of you and your company to start the process?
Yeah. So say if somebody was wanting to have something for spring, you would I do a lot of my consultations and design work in January and February. That's what I'm doing during that time of the year. Well, I take down the Christmas lights that we put up, or the holiday lighting that we put up, because that's our little off-season business. And then after that, I'm having consultations, appointments, designing out, bidding projects. So yeah, the sooner the better for like a spring project. And then if they're wanting to do something later in the summer, I think if they got a hold of me by, say, maybe by April or May. So it's interesting because you wouldn't think, like for example, I had somebody called me last year, and this was in May, and they said, well, we wanted to call you early in the spring so that we could get on your schedule right away. And I said, well, I've got a spot for you in July,
Yeah.
It's kind of, you have to kind of plan on especially if it's a large project.
Yeah.
Plan out a little bit.
Okay. So would it be safe to say then, if it's a large project, maybe 3 or 4 months in advance?
Yes.
And then if it's a smaller to mid-range project, maybe a month to 2 in advance?
Yeah. 2 months would be good. 2 months in advance.
Okay. So you heard that, people. Jump on his calendar. Give him a call in July. Actually, heck, give him a call tomorrow. Don't mess around.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I'd like to hear from you. If you want to work with me this year, call me.
Okay. That is so awesome. Here, let me hook up a banner here. So everybody can see the name of your business.
Okay.
Okay. So the next thing I want to know is, what geographic locations do you cover?
Oh, okay. So all of Salt Lake Valley, Tooele Valley, and up into Heber, Park City. And then as far as, I don't really go up north hardly at all. I don't do anything hardly at all up in Davis County. But I do a little bit down in Utah County, but mostly Saratoga Springs, Lehigh area. And that's about as far as I go down to Utah County.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say that maybe Bountiful is maybe the boundary? Because I know that I've sent you to Bountiful before. Yeah,
Bountiful would be about as far as I would go north, and then it would have to be kind of like a project. Have a project to build.
Large scale deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going to build out a backyard or remodel a front yard or something like that.
Awesome.
I would go up there for that. Yeah.
Okay. So just to double check here, we've got Tooele, Bountiful, Park City, Heber, which
Uh-huh.
would of course encompass everything in between here and Heber, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Obviously all over the Salt Lake Valley, from downtown to Draper, from Holiday to Harriman,
That's
and
right.
then Lehigh, Saratoga Springs area.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
And I'm assuming nothing out of state, correct?
We do projects out of state. A couple of years ago, I did a large project up in Redding, California, and we went up there for a couple of weeks and just, stayed there and built out a commercial project up there for a shopping center.
Okay.
So we did that. A lot of fun. Yeah. So I'm definitely open to the idea of working out of state too. It just kind of depends on the project,
Yeah, you're not going to go to Florida to build out some vegetable boxes.
I might.
Depends. If they pay for your whole trip and tickets to Disney World,
yeah,
let's
I'd
roll.
probably hang out on the beach or something. Wouldn't get anything done.
Exactly. Oh, that's way cool. Okay, so Anthony, I want to know more about what would you say your perfect client looks like. So if someone were watching this, I want someone to say, "Gosh, you know what? I'm his client," or I've got a referral for you. What does that person look like? What does that project look like?
Yeah, I would say anybody who's wanting to have something kind of special for their yard. They're wanting to build an outdoor space that's unique and speaks to them. It's custom, it's personalized. It has some of those special elements to it that kind of set it apart and set it off as far as being something, that's original and things like that. So probably not more like sprinklers and sod type jobs, but I do a lot of xeroscaping and specialty landscaping like that. So anybody who wants anything from a water conservative standpoint or environmentally friendly standpoint, wildlife friendly, things like that, low maintenance. But and it's interesting too, because when you say low maintenance, it can still look really nice. It can actually look like it might take some effort, but it doesn't have to if it's designed and built right.
Yeah,
that would be just somebody who's wanting to build something cool, wants some curb appeal, wants something that's makes their curb appeal look nice. It complements their home, and the home complements the landscape. Everything's working together.
Nice. Okay, I think that's a really good thing to touch on for a second, is the xeroscaping concept, because of course that's getting bigger and bigger as we try to do our best to conserve more water. So you can come in, tear out all of someone's lawn, and just make it look amazing.
Yeah, we've been doing more and more where the lawn areas are getting smaller and smaller every year. So the drip systems and the like decorative rock and plants that are, require less water. But even if you if you do something like drip systems with decorative rock, you're going to save a lot of water just in doing that. Even if you didn't have plants that were low water plants or desert plants, for example, you're still able to be very water conservative because you're applying the water directly to the plants and you don't have all the overspray and things like that. You're not just wasting water. So a drip system requires, it's operating in gallons per hour as opposed to gallons per minute on like a conventional sprinkler system. So yeah, you can save a lot of water and do your part that way.
That is awesome. Okay, I'm getting some ideas from my place, and I've got to get past that so we can maybe have a conversation at a future time. But you can also do sort of a partial xeroscaping as well. So if someone has a full blown lawn, but let's say they're like, hey, I want to keep some of this lawn, but I want to reduce it by maybe 35%. You could come in and sort of create this really cool concept where they still have some lawn, but then xeroscaping around it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just have, a more conservative amount of lawn. So just what you would need, how much ever you'd think you'd need. And, that'll take care of it. You just have enough lawn so that you're not, it's funny because years ago, I remember I did a lot of landscaping where it was it was big lawn areas and a lot of sprinklers and things like that. And it was really something else to see how that changed over the years and how things went into xeroscaping. Xeroscaping started taking off about probably more than 15 years ago, and now then it kind of went away for a little bit, kind of slowed down a little, and now it's coming back with a vengeance. So it's the future. It's definitely, but we're ready for it, and I'm actually really excited about it too. And,
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. And I agree. I think we need to start heading more in that direction, for water conservation. Speaking a little bit more on water, let's say you did do a redo an area, and I'm speaking actually from my personal experience. I just want to make sure that my viewers understand the breadth of the things that you can handle. So let's say you redo an entire area with cool plants and some trees and that kind of stuff. I know that you're not the guy for them to call just to come out and do sprinklers.
Right.
But
right.
if you redo an area, you can reconstruction, if that makes sense. I was going to use another funny term, but it wasn't going to make any sense anyway. But you can put more sprinklers in that area that maybe weren't there before, or that are in better, more strategic positions to water, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Do full redesign and remodel for the new system. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Retrofitting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome. The reason why I'm really getting granular on this is because I want my viewers to say, I can call Anthony and it's a one-stop shop. I don't need to call Anthony and then call this guy or this lady or this person or whatever to come in and do these other things. Like if they call you for that design, it's from A to Z. That's
right.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, I use the word awesome like it's going out of style. It's totally ridiculous.
That's okay. It's effective and it works. So there you go.
Exactly. So what is the best way for a potential client to get a hold of you?
I would say through my website is a good way to do it. That one right there. Get a hold of me through the website or, Facebook or Instagram. Any of those are fine too.
Okay.
Just give me a call or a text and or an email and we'll have a conversation about what we can do.
And just to double check, your Instagram and your Facebook is under Celestial Landscape as well. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And also check out his Instagram. You're going to see one of the design things he did for a good friend of mine, Tracy, where he built out an actual golf putting green in her backyard, and it is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Oh, that is cool. I mean, your breadth of knowledge and skill is so amazing that I literally believe that if like anybody I referred to you, you'd figure it out. Like just how wild or crazy or interesting or you just handle it.
Wild and crazy is good.
All right. I love it. Okay, cool. So I want to wrap this show up by asking you, what is one of your favorite songs or one of your favorite quotes or both?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Songs, that would be, I like music too much. There's just too many bands. There's too much. But anything in my go-to is anything in the hardcore, metal, or punk genres. Anything to do with that, I love it. It's almost all of it. I love it. And then a quote is the one that I got from my mom. She said, "Not everybody is going to like you, and that's perfectly fine." So it just helps you to realize, be about your purpose, do what you need to do, do your best, try to be kind to everybody around you and things like that. But don't let anything get you down. Believe in yourself and keep your chin up, keep going, keep pushing forward no matter what.
I absolutely love that. Your mom sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I love that completely. And you know what? I think you are the epitome of that, Anthony. I think that you show love, you show support. I just want to just give you just a a quick shout out, even though you're right here in front of me. You're honest in your work. You're diligent. You do not only amazing work, but you actually show up. You do the work. You finish the work. You're the guy that you want to be working at your house for the next 40 hours of the week or the next 3 weeks, because you're just fun to be around.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I really enjoy what I do. So I just love working with the clients that we get to work with. It's just so much fun for me, and I just get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And that, I think that helps too, because then you've got somebody who's passionate about it and cares and wants to do a nice job and is invested in the project too and has your back and just wants it to be something really special, so it's a really cool experience. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun for the client too. And I just really enjoy that. Been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, you have. And it's awesome. I'm excited for some of our friends that might not know the breadth of your work to see this and to say, dang, I need to have him out of my place next summer to build out a water feature or some new steps or a new patio with rock design. I mean, just all the cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, this has been a sincere pleasure being able to have you on and talk to you more in detail about your business. Thank you so much for coming on to the show, my man.
Oh, I appreciate it so much, Jason. I just really do. I've always just thought you're a fantastic person, and it's just a pleasure visiting with you. And thanks for the opportunity to be able to talk to everybody. I really appreciate that too.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. And I'm going to be posting this up here pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. Again, thank you so much. I love you as a brother, and I love seeing you out there just rocking and rolling. So if you don't mind now, I'm going to just have you hang out in the green room for a few moments while I wrap up the show. Is that cool?
That sounds great. Thank you again.
You're very welcome. Thanks, my man.
Take care.
All right, so there you have it. Anthony Davis is absolutely an amazing human being. Definitely reach out to him. You've got the website right here, celestiallandscapes.com. Check him out on Instagram. Check him out on Facebook. They've got some amazing and cool stuff. And no matter how wild and crazy or huge your design or concept is, reach out to him. You'll be surprised. These guys can literally make anything happen. So anyway, thank you very much for joining us on Always the Journey TV. Subscribe. Hit a thumbs up. If you've got a comment, put that in the comment as well, and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. And if, of course, I don't have the answer, I know Anthony will. So it was great seeing you guys today, and have a beautiful blue sky, sunshiny day. Much love, my friends. Take care.